Welcome to the program. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video. We got a lot to talk about on the show today. Oh my goodness. Gotta turn my volume down. Here we go.
New and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the
It's showtime.
of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
This is one of the hats that Wisconsin Gary gave me. This is pretty cool. It's got the presidential seal, Trump's signature embroidered. Hey guys, welcome. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. That's right, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. It's Friday already, and I'll tell you this right out the box. We will not be talking about the Super Bowl unless I come up with some political story when I'm going through some of my articles today. I know nothing about football. I don't even know who's in the game, really, and I don't care. And we will be here live on Monday after the Super Bowl. And we will not be talking about your favorite Super Bowl commercial either. We'll be talking about the news and the issues like we always do, unless there's some controversy at the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl. I'll probably go to bed early on Sunday night. I'm not into it. I'm sorry. I know everyone, the big game. Who's going to win the big game? America's in the balance here, people. I know it's Cincinnati. I know it's Los Angeles. I was exaggerating. But I'll tell you this. I do not know the name of one player on either team, nor do I care to. But we do have a lot to talk about today. Oh, man, do we have a lot to talk about today. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And remember, Fridays is open phones, so long as you're relevant to the conversation. It has to be something that's relevant. I don't want to hear about your dog's fleas, but it is open phones on Fridays at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631, 1-888-465-2631. You know, Biden is in big trouble, and he's in big trouble because the country's in big trouble. I mean, we've got a lot of nonsense going on in this country and the world, and, you know, If you look at the situation we had with President Trump, I know we had the COVID during the last year, but he did a miraculous job with that. But things were going so well, even during a pandemic with President Trump. Economy doing well, prices great, gas prices wonderful. He was ending all the wars. And then Biden comes into office and everything's falling apart. And you know what I wonder? I was thinking about this morning in the car. As bad as things are, has our standards, have our expectations been radically changed because of the perfection of Donald Trump? Is the current situation that we're suffering through in the country and in the world typical with most presidents other than Trump? Does that make sense to you? I'm wondering, are things worse under Biden than they were with Obama or Clinton or any other president? Was Trump so perfect at the job that everything was just, you know, radically changed so far as what we expect from our presidents? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I do know that the inflation is insane right now. The highest inflation since 1982. I have a shock poll that I'm going to go through in just a bit from CNN. You know, when you're a Democrat, when you are a Democrat and CNN turns on you, you know it's bad. So I'll take a call or two before we get into that early on. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Again, Open phones on Friday, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Are we doing something wrong here? There we go. Now you're on. I have to turn on the button that says on. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Chris.
Hey, Chris. Where are you calling from?
Fordsport, New York.
All right. Chris in New York. What's on your mind?
I'm down here in Florida now. I'm visiting.
Oh, okay.
On my mind, I would like to talk about the Keystone Pipeline. I don't think anybody has touched on that. The reason why Soros is behind it, he has all his oil tanks. So the very first day, President Biden supposedly killed that pipeline because Soros was complaining about his oil tankers. The whole, supposed to be oil are not functioning. He needs to lose the money. That's one of them. I don't know why they never talked about that. The second thing I'd like to talk about is China should have thanked us. We saved them from World War II. They never touched base on the Flying Tigers. Our young men went over there in 39 to 40 and flew the P-51s against the Japanese. Japan was in China almost a quarter of the way, and we saved them from Japan.
I know. You make a good point. In fact, I hadn't thought about it this way, but you make a very good point about China. We were attacked at Pearl Harbor by Japan because a lot of people don't know this, is because when Japan's invasion of China and the crimes they were committing there, we had an oil embargo against Japan. And in the 1930s and 40s, in fact until the 1950s, Trump brought it back, but the United States was the #1 producer and exporter of oil in the world. There was no OPEC and all that stuff yet. And we had an oil embargo against Japan for their invasion and war crimes in China, and that's what led to our involvement in the Second World War. That's why they attacked us at Pearl Harbor. And how many Americans died for China in the Second World War, freeing China? And look at what they're doing to us now. I know, it's terrible.
And the Japanese repaid us by, previous to the World War II, they bought all our scrap iron. In fact, they bought on Liberty Avenue in Queens, all that.
Yeah, but see someone like, we talk about the news, not the olds. So we got to get into the 21st century here. But people like Biden, Pelosi, and the entire leadership of our federal government are bought and paid for by China. We know this. We see story after story each day. Peter Schweitzer has a #1 best-selling book out right now on that very topic. So someone like Biden will say, well, China's paying us back. They bought us all off.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Hey, by the way, I enjoy your show. I've been listening for a while. And Steve, I'm glad you got Greg over here. He's very knowledgeable. You're a gem. I enjoy your program.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the call. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it. There would be no China today if it were not for the United States. And, I'll tell you the other thing, too, that's really upsetting, the power that China has. I saw a story today about their hockey team got creamed, and they did not have enough Olympic quality players to put a hockey team out, China. And they hired not just these defectors of the United States, they hired a team from many other nations to play for China, and they got creamed. Good for them. But the Democrats are the reason that China has money and power through their finances. The Democrats with the unions. The Democrat unions. Here you got Joe Biden always praising the unions. I see it from a new perspective now. The unions drove up U.S. labor costs so high that all these companies moved to China, which led to them being a financial powerhouse and having all this money to bribe and blackmail our government officials with. Yeah, I mean, so that's courtesy of your union-loving Democrats. Nothing good has come from the Democrats in this country's history. Can you think of it? What have the Democrats brought us that's good? Ever. And I'm serious about that. So John King over on CNN, I'm going to play this audio. This is very amazing. I mean, this is a shocking story because it comes from CNN. CNN is in the business of being a PR firm for Democrats. And when CNN is criticizing a Democrat, in particular the top Democrat, that would be Biden, with the information I'm going to share with you right now, that tells you how bad it is for Biden. They can't cover. They can't cover for him anymore, and they want Biden out of the running. I don't know if they want Hillary. I don't know who they want for sure, but it's not Joe Biden. Now listen to this. This just, when I saw this just shocked me. So this is CNN's John King with what I'll describe as a shock poll that they have on Joe Biden.
Here, do you approve of President Biden's job performance? Well, look at how bad these numbers are for the president. Only 4 in 10 Americans, 41% at the moment, approve of his job performance. Nearly 6 in 10, 58% disapprove. That's a tough number early in a midterm election year for the President of the United States. Now, why is this happening? This is fascinating. We asked people, what has President Biden done for you that you approve of? 56% of Americans, nearly 6 in 10 Americans, that means a decent amount of Democrats said nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened. Now, yes, the President...
Wow. It's actually 57 because it's 56 point. So 50, and this is a CNN liberal-leaning poll. A CNN liberal-leaning poll says 57% of Americans, and that it's a CNN poll, so it leans liberal, and it's a poll of Americans, not registered voters, likely voters. It's the most liberal polling you can do. 57% of Americans in a CNN poll say Joe Biden has done nothing good for me. That's shocking.
Now, why is this happening? This is fascinating. We asked people, what has President Biden done for you that you approve of? 56% of Americans, nearly 6 in 10 Americans, that means a decent amount of Democrats said nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened. Now, yes, the president would say, we passed the rescue.
Wow, I mean, there's nothing good in that. There is nothing good in that, and it's complete, utter panic. I've never heard a poll like that about any sitting Democrat on CNN ever. That's the kind of thing that they slander Republicans with. I might play that every hour on the show today. I think it's that devastating. And, you know, when you have a story like that, and it's coming from a liberal source, you've got to even add at least 10, maybe 15 points to it. So if it's 57%, we've got to say at least 67, maybe even 72% of Americans feel that way, that Biden's done nothing good for them. Nothing good, it said. Not nothing, nothing good. That means they feel that he's done a lot of things that's not been good for them. That is a devastating poll. One that Biden, that Kamala, that the Democrats cannot recover from. Oh, man, I want to hear your thoughts on that as we take our first break, oh, man, of the day, and for our weekend rebroadcast as well. I know, I kind of forgot it's Friday already. This week has just flown by. And also the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, which I have. It's the thickest mattress topper Mike Lindell makes. It'll change your life. You will sleep like you've never slept before with the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. It comes with a 10-year warranty. And with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, 50% off the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It's a great deal. 50% off. But you got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE.
You covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great job Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting did on his new roof. We have on the line John from Wellington, one of our regular callers. He just had his roof repaired by Laporta Contracting, and he wanted to share his experience.
Thanks to the Steve Kane Show.
Hey guys, there was a power outage for a second. That's why things clicked off. There was a power surge, just like a millisecond. That's what happened a little while ago. I mean, the power didn't go completely off, but boom. I shaved, yes, I did shave. No, it wasn't buffering, it was a power outage, Bruce. So you might have to refresh. But, yeah, it didn't, I wouldn't say an outage. There was just like a flash. But the power on the board didn't go off here. The lights dimmed. But that's what knocked me off. But remind me, during the next break, I'll talk to you about what I'm doing some new things on the stream. All right, guys, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, yeah, that's a devastating poll from CNN. There was a happening. A deputy Secretary of State gave an interview yesterday, and there's a media blackout on this. But it should be the lead audio everywhere. The media, again, remember, the media, the news, they're not in the business of news, they're in the business of covering up news. That's what they do, covering up news. But one of our Deputy Secretary of States was on television yesterday commenting on what would happen if Putin invades Ukraine. And if this happened with the Trump administration, the media, I don't care what they're, even NBC, who's so invested in all of their Olympic coverage, would cut out and change into this. What the Deputy Secretary of State said yesterday was, and I'm going to play it for you in a moment. Her name is Wendy Sherman. It was on Andrea Mitchell's show on MSNBC, was a threat to Vladimir Putin that makes things even worse than they are now. Remember what Barack Obama said about Joe Biden? Joe Biden F's everything up. That's what he said. He said every decision Joe makes is the wrong decision. That's Barack Obama saying that about a man he worked side by side with for 8 years. So listen to this. This is Wendy Sherman, the Deputy Secretary of State, taking America to the edge of war against Russia. Listen to this.
If Vladimir Putin takes that action, the consequences will not just be for the Ukrainian people, which will be terrible, but for the world community at large, because Vladimir Putin will say that any autocrat can take action that undermines international principles that Russia has signed up to sovereignty, to territorial integrity, that countries get to choose their own political alliances and their own foreign policy. And added to that, not only will there be dire consequences to the economy of Russia by what we will do, not just the United States.
Now again, she's talking about what will happen if Putin invades Ukraine.
But this extraordinary alliance that exists with all of Europe and the United States and countries around the world, not only will that create consequences, but Vladimir Putin should understand that body bags will come back to Moscow as well.
Wow, she said body bags will come back to Moscow. What the hell is that about? Are you kidding me? Body as well. Body bag. That's a threat. And let me tell you something. They think we're crazy in this country. And they've got good reason to think that, the Russians. Look who our president is. Look who our vice president is. Look at this wokester that's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Is that someone who instills fear into Mother Russia? Russia and China, the reason they're making such bold moves are many. There's many reasons, but one of them is this. They know that right now America is at its weakest point that it's been since the Second World War in the modern era. This is their opportunity. This woman should be fired. This should be walked back immediately by the White House, by Biden himself. She just told Russia there's going to be body bags coming to Moscow if they invade. Do you believe that's a threat? And, you know, it seems to me a lot of times in this Biden regime, when they go on television, and this is true with Biden as well, I've seen Biden do this many times, these incompetents around Joe Biden, they say things on television in public that they say in private meetings that aren't really meant for public consumption. Talk like this is dangerous. Talk like that. You know, English is not their first language in Russia. And when they hear that, who knows how they take it? You know, there's a lot of people over there like Alexander Haig that are all on the verge of, war here. Stupid comments like that are what begin wars. Body bags coming back to Moscow? I couldn't believe. When I heard that yesterday, I was in shock. And what shocks me even more than hearing that is that the media there's a blackout on it. Have any of you seen that discussed in the media? They're running around asking people who you think's going to win the big game. While we have and believe me, they're not following the big game in Russia. This is the big game to them, Ukraine. Is that irresponsible talk? Does it scare you? Does it ratchet things up a little bit? Does it bring us close to something? Oh my goodness, that doomsday clock from the Watchmen, boom, just moved a few seconds. My goodness. Our number is toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll free call no matter where you are listening to this program from. Oh my goodness. We knew Biden was going to be bad. But did we know he was going to be this bad? This is beyond bad. I mean, this is just incompetence. Can you imagine? I mean, think about this. What would happen if a Deputy Secretary of State for Donald Trump said something like that? The media would be all over it. And you know what? They'd be right to be all over it. And I'm so tired of people saying, well, nothing's going to happen because it's Democrats, so we shouldn't even talk about it. No, we've got to talk about it. And who knows if there'll be consequences or not. They're sending Kamala to Europe to be in charge of the U.S. delegation dealing with Ukraine. What the hell does she know? Does she even know where Ukraine is? That's the first question you got to ask her. Show Kamala Harris, our Ukraine czar now. She's the czar of the Ukraine. Czar of the border. I guess she's a czarina. That's the feminine for czar. Show her an unlabeled map. Say, Kamala, show me Ukraine. The place that we're going to send body bags back to Moscow for. Show me. Do you think she'd be able to show you Ukraine? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I wish I was a liberal. Because if I was a liberal, I'd be in total denial. I don't wish that I was. But sometimes, wouldn't life be easier if you were a Democrat? Wouldn't life be less stressful? You'd be checked out. You wouldn't know what was going on. Being a liberal by itself is like being a drug addict. You don't have to be on drugs to be in an alternate state of mind. Liberals don't know what's going on. They think things are going well. Well, not 57% of them, according to that CNN poll. But a lot of them feel that way. Oh, everything's fine. Joe's great. Oh, my goodness. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. We get back, we'll take some calls. I'll bring up some other topics as well. My name's Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected.
Yeah, so I'd mentioned some things. I'm getting, my daughter's helping me do this. I'm upgrading my whole setup at home for YouTube. And my daughter set me up when I live stream from home. I can take calls from you guys watching on YouTube. And yesterday I just ordered a green screen that that I'm going to use to set up behind me so I can have things behind me, and go over the what I'm talking, going over the articles I'm talking about and everything. So I'm really upgrading. The green screen is coming on Saturday, so I don't know if I'll have the green screen ready for streaming over the weekend or not, but everything else is coming along, little piece at a time.
Pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware that as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing?
THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right, we're coming back.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh, man, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I mean, things are just really coming apart. And now they're saying, see, this is something, here they are, they're trashing Biden. They want him out of the way. CNN, they are promoting this poll that shows an accurate poll. See, Democrats always have negative polls. Biden's polling is not unique to Democrats. What's different here is the media, the left-wing media, because they want Biden not to run, the media are reporting for the first time the true and accurate polls. So now we have a story today that Hillary Clinton, see, this has happened. This is crazy. Hillary Clinton is going to speak at the New York Democrat Convention. And, a lot of you may not know, but the individual states have their own conventions as well. Okay? Not just they have the, And she's going to speak at the New York one. Really? Out of retirement. You know what I'm curious about? This will be a big tell, and I don't know if this is possible for her to do, okay? But if Hillary Clinton has done anything to improve her appearance, Botox, lost a little weight, something, That would be a major tell. Change her hair. Women changing their hair is a big sign that something's happening. But when Hillary she's coming out again. Only she can save America. This is her last chance to do it. Hillary Clinton speaking at the New York State Democrat Convention. CNN reporting true polls for the first time about Joe Biden. That tells you something. Out of the way. You know, Greg Kelly, by the way, on Newsmax TV tweeted yesterday something I've been talking about for a while about the Supreme Court nomination. He says, Greg Kelly on Newsmax, he tweeted yesterday that the pick is going to be Kamala Harris. And when I first brought, and you know, how long has it been since you've heard them talk about replacing? Remember when the Supreme Court vacancy first came up, was that 2 weeks ago? Maybe 3, but at least 2. They had a list of women. Biden had, you know, black women. They had some top women that were at the top of the list. And what happened to that? It's disappeared. And you see this move going on here. There's a lot of plays that are going on behind the scenes that you can pick up a little piece here, a little piece there, and put things together. And what we're picking up is that they're not firmed up on who they're going to pick for the Supreme Court. And this tweet from Greg Kelly, who's in the know, he has inside sources. We see that they're trying to get rid of Biden. This poll I played at the top, I'm going to play it again in a bit, from CNN, 57% of Americans say that Biden has not done anything good for them. That's huge. That's an amazing number to get, by the way. But they got the Kamala problem. Because if he's not running, it's tradition and expected that she will run. And certainly she wants it. She doesn't want to go back into a one-term vice president and be a nobody. So the idea of Kamala getting nominated for the Supreme Court is certainly in play. And you know what? If you hear a name of a lady nominated and it's not Kamala, don't take that as, oh, Kamala's out of the running. It is not unusual for presidents to nominate people for things. They get nominated and then a microscope goes on and then you find out things about them and then they can't be confirmed. They drop out, they move along. So they may nominate someone that's not Kamala Harris, knowing that something's going to come up that'll disqualify them. And the crew of women they've been talking about, the few that we've heard, seem incredibly radical. So it's not that much of a stretch that something incredibly radical is going to come along that would either have Biden withdraw the nomination or the person withdraw their own name from consideration and go back to their federal judgeship and chill out for the rest of their life there. Then, well, only Kamala can do it. And then they'll use that as an opportunity to bring Kamala Harris in. This is a very sophisticated move that the Democrats are operating here to get Biden and Kamala out of the way. That Trump rally in Conroe, Texas a few weeks ago just totally caused a meltdown. That massive crowd, the largest crowd for a political rally in the history of Texas, probably the United States, put them in a state of panic. Because they thought by this time Trump wouldn't be popular anymore. Former presidents fade away. Nobody seems to care anymore. This guy, he's more and more popular each and every day. The rallies are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're in a panic about it. And they know they can't win it with these two losers that they've got right now. So they're looking for another way. And Hillary may not be the only way they're looking, but Hillary certainly is at the top of the list. It looks that way to me. If she was a little younger, I'd say they'd have her on the Supreme Court list. She is an attorney. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's our number. But no, there's definitely a... Now, it doesn't mean these things are going to happen. A lot of things have to fall in place. But you have the mainstream media discrediting their president, and you know they don't want Kamala, so there's definitely a move to promote Kamala upstairs to get her out of the way. And a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court's a pretty big deal that not many people would turn down. And I don't think Kamala would turn that down. If she has it in her mind that she's never going to be president, that she cannot be president. Now, on the pattern of Joe Biden, that everything Joe Biden does is wrong, that every decision he makes is the wrong one, here you have the Canadian Freedom Truckers, right? Yesterday, Biden tells Trudeau to use whatever resources and powers he has to break it up, to stop it. Isn't that amazing? They're in a panic here in this country over it. Yeah. Now, if you're Black Lives Matter and you're burning down cities, if you're looting businesses, if you're part of a gang in Los Angeles and you're breaking into Louis Vuitton stores, they're all for that. But the truckers, oh, well, that's disturbing the auto plants, and they just can't have that. And, you know, the Democrats are built around civil disobedience, so they say. Unless the civil disobedience is by someone that's not them. And, you know, we're in this new era right now, and it's getting worse all the time, that anyone who disagrees with this regime is named an insurrectionist. And they are describing the Freedom Truckers as insurrectionists now. Nonviolent protest. Little noise pollution with the honking maybe. But nonviolent protest, the White House is referring to as insurrectionist. We are in an all-new ballpark now. One that we have never been in before. And the Biden regime, they're not just going to say, okay, Hillary is it, and, you know, they're trying to hold on to their power. They're trying to hold on to their influence. And they're under a lot of stress right now because everything is failing that Biden's doing. Everything is failing. So they're doing a lot of things in desperation without thinking clearly, and that makes their decision-making even poorer than it is on a normal day. And describing the Freedom Truckers as insurrectionists and telling Trudeau to use all the powers of his federal government to stop them, major disaster. And what that's going to lead to is trucker protest in the United States. The American truckers are itching for a protest and to show support for the Canadian truckers. And what Biden did yesterday is going to firm that up. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, that's the number. 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Back after this.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife, Lori, did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now at Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the...
I was mentioning during the last break, we had a power surge. That's why the stream went earlier. I mean, there was like a flash.
I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now.
I still can't get online.
That can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs.
All right, we're coming back.
906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh my goodness, I was just watching, I can't believe Beto's back. Beto, you know, there's some people, and there's a whole class of them. There are some people out there that just have to hold political office. You know, he's the son-in-law of a billionaire. His wife's father is a billionaire. He's a millionaire. He's not necessarily doing it for the money, but he just has to be out there running. You know, he misses that, I guess, but what a joke he is. Now he says he doesn't want your AR-15. A couple years ago, he wanted to take all your guns. Now he wants nothing. We're supposed to trust him. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Joseph in Montreal.
Hey, Joseph. What's up?
Well, first of all, I really hope you don't wish you were a liberal.
Well, no, sometimes it would be, I don't mean that. I mean, I'm joking, but sometimes it would be easier to not know the disaster that this world was facing, you know?
And when it comes to Biden in the polls, I'm glad to hear that. You know, he's almost as useless as Trudeau is, and unfortunately, we're not hearing polls on Trudeau because I think the media is trying to hide them because he's probably not doing very well in the polls.
Yeah. Yeah, and here in America, they're turning on our truckers. There's a whole. I saw this yesterday. I talked about it at the end of yesterday's show. The Department of Homeland Security has put out a special alert for the Super Bowl Sunday night about truckers. They're afraid that American truckers are going to attempt to protest to disrupt traffic at the Super Bowl. So they have federal agents on the lookout for American truck drivers now.
Lovely.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. You never know.
Well, what they're doing in your country and in ours is anyone who disagrees with the establishment, they're classifying as a terrorist, a domestic enemy.
That's right.
And that's a new phase that we're in.
Yeah, and calling our truckers insurrectionists, that's absolute bunk. You know, you're right. They're trying to malign them. It's character assassination. It's ridiculous, but they'll use anything. They're running scared. They're running scared because this thing is catching on. This movement's catching on, and they will use any means at their disposal to malign these.
Well, there's a story in Breitbart this morning, and let me read this from Breitbart to you. This is how disgusting things are right now in Canada. The head of the Trudeau, I'm reading from Breitbart. The head of the Trudeau-funded Canadian anti-hate network, it's called CAHN, spread a photograph of an anti-Semitic flyer on social media, claiming that it originated with the Freedom Truckers. Okay? And yeah, and it's a terrible anti-Semitic flyer. And then it came out that this flyer was seen at a protest here in Florida, in Miami is where it came from, for another event long ago. And it was fake there too. So, you know, the Freedom Truckers, it's really amazing because we're like in, what, day 10 or something. I don't know how many days it's been now. But the Freedom Truckers, they have had these they've had these government leftist operatives in there with the Confederate flag, which isn't even a Canadian thing, Nazi flags, anti-Semitic flyers now, and still they've not been able to slander them publicly, but they've been attacking them with all this fake stuff the entire time.
Well, liberals can only get ahead with lies and deceit. That's how they operate. That's the way they are. That's their nature.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I was telling you yesterday that our bars up here are closed in Montreal, and restaurants just reopened. Well, one thing I forgot to mention, they actually had a curfew here. Quebec, the province of Quebec, had a curfew from 10 to 5. You weren't allowed to be on the streets. It's the only jurisdiction in North America that had a curfew.
Well, you know, you guys should have joined the other colonies in the Americas in 1776, and you wouldn't have to worry about this crap right now, you know?
Great.
Yeah, all right, take care, man. Thanks, from Canada. By the way, our listeners in Canada, welcome. You know, there's a big connection between Canada and Florida because this time of year we have a lot of Canadians that come in. But yeah, this story, so let me share this. I'll read the rest of this story. Bernie Farber, who's listed as the chair of CAN, this is this group in Canada, on the group's website, tweeted this photograph taken by a friend in Ottawa at the Occupation. That's what they call the Freedom Trucker site. Apparently in plain sight, captioning a picture of an anti-Semitic flyer. The photo of this flyer, however, was not from the Ottawa trucker protest against mandates. It was from an unrelated event in Miami, Florida, and first posted on Twitter January 23rd. And I'm not even going to read what's on this flyer. It's the most anti-Semitic things I've ever seen written. It really is. It's that bad, and there's no way this was a real thing even at the Miami event. After being confronted over the fake anti-Semitic photograph on Twitter, Farber deleted the tweet and stated, "Okay, for the record, a friend from Ottawa told me they saw an anti-Semitic flyer and sent it to me. I posted it. The photo itself was old and originally from Miami. However, they said they saw the same thing in Ottawa." Give me a break. You know, this new phase that we are in, where disagreement with the left is insurrectionist activity, is something that's not going to go away. They have changed into that mode openly. It's not, you know, and they've always thought that way. If you think about it, conservatives by the left have always been called Nazis and racist and all these things. That's what they've always done. But now what's happened, that usually was mostly from activists. And what's happened with this new era of Democrat that's in government, it's you see this with the squad, but it's not just the squad. With this new era of Democrats we have, you have radicals running things. I mean, very radical people, right? The people that won't, you know, the no bail crowd, that won't prosecute crimes, that are giving crack pipes out for free, paid for by the taxpayers. These radical activists made their way into government and have a lot of power. You know, when the squad first went to Congress, I can't remember what stunt Tlaib pulled, or was it Tlaib? Might have been Tlaib. Well, one of the squad members pulled some stunt. Can't remember what it was. And Pelosi came out and said, you know, you're a member of Congress now. This is what she said to the squad. There's a transition between activist and member of Congress. You behave, do, and say certain things as an activist, but as a member of Congress, you behave differently. That was Pelosi's reaction to these radicals, and she's given up on them now because there's too many of them. They're judges, they're congressmen, they're district attorneys in New York. And yeah, so the Democrat Party has lost control of its party. That's why you see Bill Maher sounding like a conservative. You'll hear Carville sometimes sound like he's MAGA. These guys are liberal Democrats. But what we're dealing with now is beyond just being a liberal Democrat. What we're dealing with now are not just liberal Democrats, we're dealing with radical revolutionary activists. And that's the problem. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Oh, man, I know. And that's not going to change anytime soon. The only thing that can change that and really start the beginning of ending that is President Trump having massive victories in the midterm elections. Because once we take back both houses of Congress, these radical lunatics will be in the minority party. And they're a minority in the minority party at that point, a minority in the Democrats. They'll start to fade away because they won't have influence, they won't have power, they won't be able to get things done. And then there'll be a beginning of a change. But we're not there yet. We got to get there first. And it's what Steve's been saying. Things are going to get worse before they get better. We just don't know how worse and for how long until we start to get to the better. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sal from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Sal. Hey, turn off the volume of whatever you're listening to me on in the background.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Sal?
All right.
You're on the air. Go ahead. Oh, my goodness. I didn't say turn the volume down of the phone. I said turn the volume down of the device in the background. Oh, my goodness. All right, now we're coming up on the top of the hour break. Oh, man. An incredible deal going on right now on the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. This is an incredible deal. I have 4 sets of these, 2 regular, 2 flannel. Right now, the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, 60% off. As low as $39.99. It's an incredible deal. The MyPillow My Slippers, 50% off. That's right, 50% off. And they have multiple styles for men and women, multiple colors as well with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. The MyPillow bathrobes, oh man, my wife and I, we each have a MyPillow bathrobe. They're so soft, so comfortable. All the colors are in stock. They have a new style. We have the heavy robe. They have the new lighter style. A lot of new colors in stock. With our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, 30% off. And there is a MyPillow Giza Elegance pillow. You've seen Mike Lindell with this pillow on television, I'm sure. The Giza Elegance pillow comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. As with the regular MyPillows, it's machine washable and dryable. And it's a little more upscale than the regular MyPillow. The regular, this is just an incredible deal on this. The Giza Elegance pillow, I'm going to have to order one of these. The regular price for the Giza, as in Giza Cotton, Elegance MyPillow is $89.98. With our promo code at checkout, just $29.98. That's the lowest price ever on the Giza Elegance MyPillow, just $29.98. And again, if you click on the photograph of Mike Lindell with the American flag, you can get the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll be back with the second hour after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. 4633 BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by any lab test now of Boca or any lab test now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any lab test now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients.
Well, you're a journalist, sir. You should be unbiased. You shouldn't be telling me how to see the world.
Authority at list to receive your very own pair of
every voter in Arizona, whether they be Democrat, whether they be independent or Republican, can feel good that the election was honest. In 2016,
entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic
I got to watch this interview with Carrie Lake on Australian 60 Minutes. I don't have time to watch it right now. It's like a 25-minute interview.
They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855.
Governor, this isn't something a governor does. You're trying to twist this interview and trying to make me look bad. What I don't like
Steve Kane Show. Oh.
Dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And
All right, hour number 2 has begun. I was just watching this interview with Carrie Lake from Arizona on Australian 60 Minutes, and it got pretty heated. I'm going to play one clip of it. I don't have this in the computer. I'm just going to play this off my iPad. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to bring a microphone over and just put my iPad up to the mic. Let me see. This is mic 3. No, hold on. So let me just put my iPad up to the mic. And here's the speaker. Here we go.
They should be banned. Do you think they should be banned? I have no say in that. I'm running.
Oh, okay. Now, this clip, she's talking about the January 6th prisoners at the D.C. Guantanamo Bay here, and the Australian reporter is asking her if the January 6th prisoners should be pardoned.
Well, do you think they should be banned? Do you think they should be banned? I have no say in that. I'm running for governor. This isn't something a governor does. You're trying to twist this interview and trying to make me look bad.
You're a Republican. He's the Republican leader.
What I don't like is that people are being held in prison without being charged. That's un-American. Maybe they get away with that stuff in Australia. Perhaps in Australia, because you've given your rights away, you melted down all of your guns, and you guys have no freedom.
Oh, man.
You find that okay. But here in America, we do things differently. We have something called the U.S. Constitution, and we have rights. And we don't take kindly. On Americans being locked up for months on end without being charged. So charge them or get off the pot.
So we'd be better off having more guns here. I mean, what?
You would. You absolutely would, sir. You absolutely would. I feel so sorry for the people in Australia. Have no power. The only thing keeping us from being Australia right now, or Canada, is our Second Amendment. And we will never, ever let that go. Mark my words. What we saw happening in Australia, where you have internment camps and people are being forced, if they've encountered anybody with COVID, to be locked into a quarantine camp is the most horrifying thing I think I've ever seen a government do. It's frightening. If you can't see that, I feel sorry for you.
Wow, I mean, isn't she awesome? Carrie Lake. Oh, man, I wish she was already governor. Because if she had been governor for a couple of years, she could be President Trump's running mate if DeSantis doesn't want to do it. But, oh, man. And it gets. I'll play more of that interview as the show goes on. It's a very good one. Richie the bus driver, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. You know, I couldn't hear a word of the show on the radio, on the phone just now, Senator, you know.
Oh, really? Oh. When you were on hold, you couldn't hear anything? Yeah, you know, there was a power flash at the beginning of the show. The power didn't go out, but there was like a power surge, and there was a flash of light in here on all the equipment. Maybe that did something. Okay, I'll check that out.
Couldn't hear nothing. I mean, just a little faint whisper from you.
Okay.
All right, here's the deal. They're falling apart, but even Al Sharpton attacked the mayor of New York. Did you see that? Because this guy is starting some kind of to get New York right, to fix New York. He's changing the...
Well, Eric Adams, what's Eric Adams doing to fix New York?
He's changing the diet. He's come up with like...
Oh, that vegan thing? Is that what... Is that... I thought Al Sharpton was on some special diet because he lost all that weight.
Attacked him. Al Sharpton's basically saying, hey, look, man, this is not what New York is killing people in the streets of New York. It's unsafe. And you'll...
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I saw Adams the other day. He's a vegetarian, was talking about the vegan diet. So Al Sharpton's attacking Mayor Adams for being concerned about diet habits when people are getting shot in the streets.
Yeah, it's unsafe everywhere. I mean, it's...
No, I didn't see the Sharpton. I saw Sharpton was in the news, but I tuned Al Sharpton out so much, I didn't even go and look at the story.
That's a new thing. This shows you, like you said, they are in so much trouble. I mean, you can't make this up. 22% of Democrats who voted for Biden have turned on him. That's 22%. So, I mean, and then they showed all the other demographics that have turned on the Democratic Party. This is the worst performance. This guy is going down as the worst, and he's a walking zombie. And now, even at the interviews, he's getting angry. You can see his tone, his anger, his frustration. He's not coming across. He's coming across as a mean old man who has no...
Well, what happens a lot of times, okay, the meanness and the anger, this is what happens, okay? In Florida, we have more people in cognitive decline than any other state in the union. A lot of times when people are far gone cognitively, the anger, they get angry because when it wakes them up a little bit and they think it makes them seem with it. And a lot of that anger you see from Biden is he thinks it makes him look good, like he's full of energy and everything. That's how they, you know.
Yeah, that husband, she had to put him in a home because he started kicking her and beating her up. I mean,
yeah.
People don't realize that people that once loved you don't even know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, sometimes people have to have restraints on grandpa sometimes and things like this at home. Yeah.
They had a poll, one of these big pollsters, right? McLaughlin said that more than 60% of the American people want him to take a cognitive test.
Yeah.
Because they want...
Yeah, Trump did it. Remember, Trump did it and then had his doctor come out and go over the results.
But they want it publicized to the people because 60% of the people don't think he's up to the job anymore. We knew this going into this election, and now we see what we see. And it's kind of sad because the country, I mean, you know, chicken wings for the Super Bowl. They had a restaurant on TV because I know one of our sponsors is
Wings Plus on Sample Road. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, chicken wings last year for the Super Bowl were for 100 wings were $65. Now they're $100.
Yeah, because the price of chicken, I know. And by the way, Wings Plus, they have maintained their price points, which is very difficult to do. The price of wings have gone through the roof, and a lot of, you know, restaurants, they'll lose money, to stay in business. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. But you know, this cognitive decline of Biden, not only should he be removed from office over it, it's got to be an impeachable offense of Kamala Harris, who knows, she sees him in his worst, because she knows more than we do about his condition, and she doesn't do anything about it when her role is to step in and do something about it, and that in itself is a crime.
Well, there's two things. You're 100% right, and there's two things here that we got to look at more than anything. I think that this border crisis in the southern border, with what they're doing with people in the middle of the night, there's 2 million that are put in 1 year. What they have done, and what people are starting to see, and believe it or not, the other stations are starting to report it, are taking Americans off. How the hell are you taking people? I have a friend in Tennessee. He says there's a total village of these people put up by the government.
Yeah, they're doing it here in Florida. Laura Loomer had some video from a motel up in Orlando where there's a lot of reasons they bring the illegals here. There's a lot of money in it. When they put them up in these facilities, there's campaign donors that get paid by the government to put them up. When they enroll their kids in the school, that's the school districts, the Democrat school districts get more money because they have more students. There's all kinds of reasons.
The drugs that are pouring into this country now are at a record rate.
Yeah.
Stopping them because they're with the
President Trump almost completely won the war on drugs, and then they opened it up again.
They completely opened it up. It's like he's in bed with China. China's the biggest fentanyl dealer in the world. They make it. Then send it over to Mexico.
And then they walk it up here, in backpacks.
He's compromised. I am convinced that this man is compromised with China. There's no...
Yes. Yeah.
So obvious now, and the American people, and his brother is getting a pass because his brother's getting rich on him too. This is out of control. They used to talk about Jimmy Carter with his brother. This is work.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter took, was it $80,000 from Saudi Arabia or something when Jimmy Carter was president. That's cigar money compared to what these people are doing.
Oh, my God, it's incredible. Nancy Pelosi is in charge, by the way, of the Capitol Police, and I'm going to let you go now. I want you to have a nice week.
All right, you take care, Richie. What's that?
With the lady with the tequila?
No.
Oh, we sent you on the phone that you gave me. We sent you a message. But tequila joke with 3 doctors.
Where'd you send me this joke?
A couple days ago.
Where? How'd you do it?
Messenger. My wife sent it on Messenger. She had I had your phone number.
Oh, that might be an old... I had to change my phone number a while back because Al the John had gotten my phone number, and I got like 2,000 calls one weekend. So I changed my phone number a couple years ago. I'll give it to you if you email me or something. All right, take care, Richie. All right, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Today, this liberal I mentioned before says to me, now that Biden has made the economy the best jobs in 40 years, what do you say? I says, thank you, President Trump. What do you mean, President Trump?
That's right. I don't know what it is with you, Doug. It seems like all you do all day are have these conversations with liberals. Hey, listen, hey, thanks for the call. I got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Back right after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely, we act as your family.
We'll
call the
let
nurse's
that go.
station and
Mark
ask
my
for
words.
some
What we saw
assistance.
happening
If we
in
can't
Australia,
get anything done there,
where you
we'll go
have
to the higher
internment
levels.
camps and people are being forced,
Now,
if they've
they
encountered
do not
anybody
have
with
to be
COVID,
an
to
existing
be locked into a
client of I Will
quarantine camp.
Advisors to take
is
advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course, we'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, a couple things here. I was just testing something out. Richie, now I've been having some problems here this morning with the phones and people calling in, and I'm putting them on hold and they're hanging up. And I've been trying to figure out what it is, and then Richie told me what he was experiencing, and I tested it during the break, and he is correct. When you are on hold, you can't hear the show. It's just silence. I don't know why that is. I don't know if we'll be able to take care of it during the show. But that's why people have been calling in. I put them on hold, and then they hang up because they think I've disconnected because it's like complete sound of silence. But doing a live call-in talk show, it gets a little difficult when you can't take the calls live on the air. So we can take calls. You just can't hear while you're on hold. You can only hear when I'm talking to you. So that's been the confusion. So I'll see if we can work that out. I don't know. Something has been unplugged. So Rich Allen, if you're down the hall, something has been unplugged on the in the back of all of the controls over here, and I can't see that side of things because I'm looking at the face. There's something in the back somewhere has been unplugged, and I don't know if it's on my end or in your studio, but if we could work that out, it would help. All right. So my wife texted me this Carrie Lake interview. I played a clip of it, and then she texted me back. She's like, "You got to play the rest of it." So I'm going to do that right now. It says at the head. I don't usually play things that are audio on the air. I'll read articles I haven't read, and I'll read them cold. I'll read a headline. I don't usually play audio I haven't listened to because she said you got to edit it down. But my wife said like the last 8 minutes are great. I've already played like a minute and a half of it, and she says you got to play this. So I'm going to do this just over my iPad. I'm going to hold my iPad up to the mic and play this. I do know it's getting heated. This is Carrie Lake, who, of course, is the Trump-endorsed candidate for governor of Arizona. And she is being interviewed by 60 Minutes Australia, which is very liberal. I don't know too much about 60 Minutes Australia, but it's not Sky News. Yeah, they said that and I just tested it during the break. It's just complete silence. So I don't know if that's on your end because our phones are connected, or if it's on my end. There's only about 10,000 wires. Oh, I just heard something, so maybe that, I don't know, we'll find out. But anyway, so here it is. This is Kari Lake, and this is kind of like, the interview's kind of over at this point, but they're still going at it.
Most horrifying thing I think I've ever seen a government do. It's frightening. And if you can't see that, I feel sorry for you. All right, this is our last question, Liam. We have to run, but thank you for your time.
Would it have been better on the 6th of January if the military had been involved?
Why do you keep asking me about the 6th of January?
See, this is really, it's getting very staticky now, Rich. Very, and my microphone, it sounds staticky, so I don't know if it's staticky on the air. I sound like, in my headphones, I sound like an electronic sound effect. So I don't know if that's how it sounds on the air or not. Okay? Oh boy. Okay, now it's better. I can hear now. I don't sound like a Cylon. Okay, now this is interesting, though, what's going on with Kari Lake. I'm glad my wife sent this to me this morning. This is very good. Do you notice what's happening? Kari Lake is opposing the powers that be, opposing the establishment. So what are they doing? They're trying to label her and portray her as what? An insurrectionist. As an insurrectionist. That's what's going on here.
Because it was a watershed moment, surely. It was a watershed moment for you. Don't you agree? For people to storm your national building in that way, 1,000 assaults, 769 people charged.
Liam,
don't think that was a big event?
Liam, you can keep asking the same questions, and I've already given you my answer. I do appreciate your time.
You know, Kari Lake is smart. You know, she's very smart. She's like Ron DeSantis. She's like President Trump. She's not taking this liberal jerk's bait.
I appreciate all the effort you went through to do the interview, and I thank you so much for your time. You've asked the question three times, and I believe I've answered it, so thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Just answer me this one question. One more question, Kari.
Well, no, I've already told you we're done. Thank you so much.
Now she stood up. Okay, now at this point, Kari Lake has stood up. Now she's doing this remotely. Actually, it looks like from her bedroom. She has this set up. So she has now said the interview's over. Kari Lake has stood up, and the guy's still talking to her. And so as she's walking around her bedroom.
Yes, appreciate it.
So when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
I gave you 15 minutes. We promised you 15 minutes, sir.
Well, no, you promised us 30 minutes actually yesterday.
Well, I never promised 30 minutes. I told my staff 15.
Really? I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
No.
When we came in, we said we had 15 minutes. I've got it on tape, sir.
I don't think that's true.
I have it on tape. Did we say that on tape? Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm sorry that you asked the same question 3 times and wasted your time.
Well, I'm sorry you couldn't bring yourself to actually see the world in a different light.
Well, are you a journalist or a
No.
biased journalist or not? Why are you trying to tell me how I should see the world?
Wow.
You're a journalist.
Questions to me. You've cut me off. You don't get any questions.
Well, you're a journalist, sir. You should be unbiased. You shouldn't be telling me how to see the world.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Why are you trying to tell me as a journalist how to see the world? I don't understand that. It's not a journalist's job to tell me how to see the world. It's a journalist's job to ask questions that are not biased, and I didn't get that from you.
Why aren't you open and accountable to
I'm
facts
absolutely open and
real evidence, rather than just pushing your own barrow for your own purposes?
Boy, I'm happy to send you some of the facts. I'll leave it with the crew here before we leave.
This is the way Trump people do it, yeah? This is what happens. You have one narrative and that's it. You can't think out of the box.
Sir, I believe you have that narrative. You're unable to even see the evidence that we have in our forensic audit. I do.
Yes.
And this is absolutely amazing. And you know what Kari Lake is like. You know what she's like? She is like Tony Snow was when he became. This is interesting because she has an experience and a skill set that politicians don't usually have. Tony Snow had it. It's because she comes from the media, and she was an anchor at a major station, done a lot of interviews. She knows how to handle herself in an interview. She knows how to handle herself in a heated exchange during an interview. And reporters just can't do with her what they do with other politicians who don't have that skill set. And she caught that guy when he said to her, I'm sorry you can't see the world in a different way. And, you know, a reporter is supposed to be an observer of events in the world. And she says, wait a minute, you're a journalist. Why are you trying to tell me how I should see the world? And why are you trying to reshape the way I see it? Oh, my goodness. I know I'm not the only one that wishes she was already governor so she could be Trump's vice president. I mean, my goodness. She is a, you know, this is what like Hillary and Kamala and these so-called feminist Democrat women don't get, right? You know, Hillary Clinton and Kamala, they think that they're like female role models and icons and heroines and all this thing because they're a woman and they just happen to have this job. That makes them a strong, powerful woman. That's not the case at all. You know, Carrie Lake, like Sarah Palin was back in 2008, but she's better than Sarah Palin ever was. I've seen her several times now, the way she handles the media. If Sarah Palin would have handled Katie Couric like Carrie Lake handled this Australian guy, oh man, that would have been a beautiful thing. But this is a strong, independent woman. Not Kamala, not Hillary, not these other Democrats that run around. I think that was amazing. That was really amazing. She's going to be such a great governor. And, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Look at what the Democrats have. They have these tired old retreads, Hillary Clinton, right? President Trump has created this great bench of up-and-coming MAGA, and Carrie Lake, of course, is one of them. All right, let's take some calls. We did a reset on the phones. I don't know if the people on hold can hear us, but we'll see. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Gary. Could you hear while you were on hold there?
Yes, I was able to hear when I was hold, but before when you had adjusted your mic, it sounded like you were almost like trying to impersonate Darth Vader.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Just without the breathing. Yeah, no, Rich Allen, he came over here, he reset everything, and things seem to be working. I was wondering why. You know, I was sitting here for almost 90 minutes, and I'm talking about all these issues. The phones have been ringing like crazy all morning. I'm putting callers on hold, and then they keep hanging up. And I'm like, am I being trolled? What's going on here? And people were on hold hearing silence and figuring, oh, I'm disconnected and hanging up. That's what was going on. So anyway, everything's fixed now. Thanks, Rich.
Man, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. We worked at a rate, Rich Allen was Steve's producer before I was with Steve. We worked together at a radio station 30 years ago. I was just a kid. I only shaved like every 6 months. Anyway, what's up, Wisconsin, Gary? 30 years ago. I got clothes older than that.
You know, with everything that's going on with Lake, she's a very well experienced ex-reporter, you know, so I mean, she kind of knows how to take care of these people. But, you know, like, a lot of the things that these people are trying to push on people that are running for governor or senators or anything else, you know, a lot of people should take a lot of lessons from Carrie Lake and counteract a lot of that the Democrats are trying to push for these narratives.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what it is, Gary. I'll tell you, you know, with Carrie Lake and others like her. See, Carrie Lake, most people that are in government, like members of the Congress, presidents, they've been groomed by, you know, to be in these positions. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Rhodes Scholar like Mayor Pete and Clinton, or they inherited it like Liz Cheney. Carrie Lake is like Trump. She and Sarah Palin, no political connections in Washington, just a populist person with a popular agenda who gets the spot. So they don't buy into any of those narratives like these fake Republicans against Trump Republicans, these rhinos, because they don't owe allegiance to the party. And that's why you get these independent people like Carrie Lake, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Noam, and I mean, this interview with her, I thought was one of the most amazing interviews I've ever seen.
Yeah, she took really good care of how to get that reporter. So you got to do me a favor, Brian. When you get home, you got to give your wife a great hug and a kiss for giving you that great clip.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she just did a fabulous job. Now, you know, with Biden, with everything else, if this convoy in the U.S., I think it goes through because like some of the states now are cutting back. Like New York, I heard it was cutting back on some of those mandates. I mean, if this convoy goes through, I really think deep down inside that this will end Joe Biden's presidency, the rest of it.
Well, let me tell you, with the truckers, it's so fun, because I was talking the other day about the Convoy movie with Chris Christopherson, which you're probably not old enough to be. I don't know how old you are, but that...
I remember it.
I saw it in the theater in its first run. I was a little kid, but I saw it in the theater. But I don't remember what all the issues was, because I've not seen that movie since I was a kid, but they had the cops after him, and I think we're going to be in a position right now. Like, they got Homeland Security keeping an eye on truckers in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl. We're going to see a situation where truck drivers like you are going to be going through Democrat states and Democrat liberal cities, and you might get stopped by Johnny Law just to harass you. They're now labeling truck drivers public enemies.
And if it comes down to it, if we as truck drivers get tired of this, and actually stand up and then just literally, if we're going to get harassed this bad and just literally park the truck, then you're going to start seeing Biden just created one of the biggest fiascos in the United States. Now, like, Canada was the start of it, because now it's starting to come through other countries, Switzerland and Finland and all those other countries, and now all of a sudden it started something finally in the U.S. where people finally have a backbone in the U.S. I mean, if all of a sudden the DOT enforcement agency and all that other stuff's going to harass us, you're going to probably see trucks that say, you know what, you don't need your product in your store or whatever else. You want to harass me for something? I'll just park it.
Well, Biden made a big mistake, okay? He told Trudeau yesterday, use your full force of your federal government to break up the truckers, and doing all this. It was a big mistake. One last thing, though, on the Kari Lake thing. They're terrified of Kari Lake. She's very strong. She's very good in debate. She's right on the issue. She's endorsed by Trump, and she's relatively young for someone in this position. She's in her early 50s, and she's good looking. And and I know that's shallow. Look at who they have, right? They've got women with no experience that are weak. These old ladies like Hillary Clinton. I mean, Kari Lake. I interviewed her. I had her on my podcast a while back, before she was officially running, when she first left the Fox affiliate out there, and I was pretty impressed with her then. But I've seen her in 2 exchanges now dealing with liberals, and she cleaned their clocks both times in both interviews. She's definitely the future of MAGA.
I would see if you can get her back on again.
Yeah.
That would probably be one great interview, because how you have spread out through all the U.S. and through other countries, I think it would be a good thing if you could get another podcast with.
I'll look into them. I have her cell phone number. She gave me her cell phone. I'll look into it. All right. Hey, listen. Hey, thanks for the call. Take care. Let me take one more call before the break, since our phones are now working. Yay! Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Brian. It's Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, that
Wesley, if I don't
Kari Lake
thank
is
you.
one
Thank Wesley.
articulate, intelligent, beautiful, well-demeanored person, and she will make a great governor. But can you imagine if a conservative journalist did that to a liberal politician woman, the outrage that would happen?
Sexist. You'd be called a sexist.
Exactly. And why isn't the Republican establishment sticking up for this Kari Lake?
Why is the Republican establishment not sticking up? Because she's MAGA.
Oh, so it's okay to attack a MAGA woman just because of her stance and not stand up for her as a woman. I don't get that.
Yeah. If you notice what he was doing in that interview, by the way, later on he called her a xenophobe, so she's a racist, but what he was trying to do, and she, because she's a journalist herself, she didn't fall for it, is he kept asking her, he asked her 3 questions about January 6th. He was trying to get her to say something positive about that day and them so they could brand her an insurrectionist. And he was doing the work of the American media, because if he would have gotten her to do that, the American media would have run with this clip. And she didn't take the bait. And that's something, a lot of Republicans, that they do interviews, they get jammed up because they don't fight back. And she stood up and says, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? I have never seen a politician, a Republican, handle a reporter like Kari Lake did in that exchange.
She sounded like a polished, seasoned politician, but with her journalistic roots, she knew not to take the bait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she called him on it.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Done it better.
Well, let me tell you, that interview is going viral, and what's going to happen now, it really hasn't happened yet. She has not had the full force of the left-wing establishment and Republican establishment after her yet. They really haven't. But now they're going to start to look into her husband, her kids, her dad, her father-in-law, her mom, her 8th cousin, 18 times removed, or something. They're going to be looking, like they did with, remember, when Sarah Palin first came out, everyone was all excited about her, and the Democrats sent operatives to Alaska with cash money, willing to give money to anyone who would say something negative about Sarah Palin. And they descended, they filled up all the hotel rooms in Wasilla. I'm not kidding. And that really happened. And that's what's going on with Kari Lake now. But I would imagine Kari Lake, who's been a public person her entire adult life, they're not going to find anything on her.
I don't think so either. And that was a good analogy with Sarah Palin, because that's exactly what they did to her.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Jeff in Maine, take care. Thanks for the call. Well, I'm glad we got the phones working. I tell you, I was getting a little frustrated in the first hour and 15 minutes of the show. I could not understand why all the callers were hanging up. Because I take the calls screenless on the program, which is something we do by choice. That's how we do this show. It makes the show more interesting. I don't know what's coming up. And so what I do, just because some of our sponsors do call-in commercials, so when it's around time for one of those, I'll, start answering, But we take the calls screenless, and so in the first hour, the phones were ringing like mad, and I brought up some good stuff, and I would put them on hold, and then a few seconds later they would hang up. And I'm like, what's going on here? So thankfully, Richie the bus driver, believe it or not, saved the day. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Stacy from Fairfield Beach. This is in reference to Champagne Automotive. I went over there. They're wonderful. I have a Kia Optima Eco Hybrid. When I called, it needed service. I didn't want to bring it to the dealership because they would charge me through the roof. And basically, when I did call, they said bring it in the next day. He's amazing. He did everything. He didn't overcharge me. He went through my car, and I would recommend anybody to go to him. He's absolutely amazing.
Well, Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, they do great work, and I want to thank you for calling. And I learned something about Champagne Automotive Repair from you in this call. I did not know that they actually did repairs on hybrid vehicles.
What had happened was, when I brought it to the dealership, they were like, well, we want to do this, we want to do that. And when I heard about Champagne Automotive, I called when I got there, and I said, he goes, well, I already ordered the oil filter.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And so I dropped it off. I don't have many people to take me back home. And so he ordered Uber for me.
Wow.
Yes.
That thing with the phones, because it's like discouraging. Jacqueline, $50 super sticker. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Everyone, please thank Jacqueline. Thank you so much. I don't have time to tell you now, but I'll tell you guys in the next break.
8101, and what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champagne Automotive, and thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show.
This is the hat what Wisconsin gave. I'll show it to you guys later. All right, we're back. Oh, man. 39 minutes after the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us at 8. I'm Brian Craig. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Juan.
Oh, hey, Juan.
Hey, good morning. You got such great callers.
Don't we?
These guys, conservative Richie the bus driver, and conservative Doug, and Mike in Louisiana, which I haven't heard from. But I was late today. I got to admit, I worked late last night. But here's the thing with Kari Lake. She has that, which I think the previous caller mentioned it. But her journalistic skills. She has a crew. I don't know if you had mentioned it. She has a crew recording at the same angle that the media, so that way they can't sit there and cut, tape, and paste.
Okay, yeah. Let's. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, I was so excited that the phones were working again, that my observation, was off a little bit there. I missed that. Yeah, that audio you heard was from Carrie Lake's crew, and Carrie Lake is doing something that I have never seen someone else do, and I bet you, because she comes from the world of journalism, this was her idea, and I hope she, because she's tight with our great President Trump, I hope he starts doing this. And Juan, you picked up on something I missed. She has her film crew and everything also mic'd up, so that what Juan said, the interviewer can't chop up what she said and craft things in a different way. So she's able to have and she released the unedited portions. It starts even before the interview. It's almost half an hour long, so that she can maintain control of her own narrative.
The gotcha game.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say something else too. The Wisconsin Gary, I'm a truck driver also. I got my own operation. The restlessness of the work of the West. This is spreading like a wildfire. The truck driver, there was a reporter that said, start slashing their tires. The law enforcement cut off their fuel, shut down their insurance. That's not going to hurt us, because we know that we have the power, but we use it for good.
The thing about truck drivers, it's so fun. When I was a kid growing up, truck drivers, we're talking about this, was like the coolest thing in the world to be. Moving On, BJ and the Bear, Convoy. There was like a whole thing. But something about truck drivers, and I've known some truck drivers. Truck drivers, especially the long haul guys, the 18-wheelers, these are very independent-minded people. 34, I didn't know there was such a thing, but you know what I mean. But truck drivers are an independent-minded people. That's one of the things I think attracts a lot of people to the profession. They're on the road, they're taking care of themselves, they handle things themselves, and they don't like being pushed around.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the thing. Yeah, you can bring in these law enforcement guys, and these truck drivers, we're all one-minded, one mindset. And if you bring in these law enforcement that sit there, and who do they pick on? A poor 78-year-old little guy, but they're not going to pick on these truck drivers. We're going to get in their face. And I'm just a little guy, but I know that they have my back. Whenever I break down on the road, a truck driver pulls over to bail me out.
Yeah.
Do the same to them.
Really? I did not know that. Really? That's like a thing with truck drivers? If you pass a truck and he's broken down, you pull over and help one another? I did not know that.
I know, I can speak for myself, and I know that I do, and say, hey, and they usually tell me, no, I got the company, or they're already, we're prepared for breakdowns, all right? Because, that's a big part of the business, breakdown.
Yeah.
Whenever I see a truck driver on the side of the road stranded, I can see him a mile ahead, and so what I do is I pull over, hey, you okay, or should I do this? And if I broke down, they do the same for me, especially when, it's dark at night.
Yeah.
We got each other's back. And this profession, it's not like the medical profession or any other profession. We know, and we're aware of the fact that, we love them.
Well, yesterday, Biden told Trudeau yesterday to use the full power of the Canadian federal government to break those drivers up.
It's not going to work because they need us more than we need them. Thank you, bro.
All right, take care, Juan. Yeah. See, did you hear Juan? He's a local driver. There's a strike coming. It's such an interesting thing that we're seeing right now. It really, truly is. Strikes, I'm not into strikes. But we're approaching one now with the truckers, and I don't know. There hasn't been like a major strike in many years, but we are certainly approaching one with the truck drivers, and this one's going to be a fascinating one. It'll be the first time that Democrats didn't support a strike. Our number is toll free 1-888-GO-KANE-1. The phones are working now, people. Oh my goodness. I had a friend who did a talk show at another station in this market, and he couldn't take phone calls for a week. It was a small station. The station, the phones got disconnected for non-payment, and I guess by the time they disconnect them, it goes a while, and it was a big bill, and it took him a week or two to gather up the money to pay the bill, and he was doing I know Steve's listening. I'll tell you who that is and where that was off the air, but he was doing a show with no phones for a couple weeks because the phones were shut off for non-payment. Oh my goodness. We had at our old studio, we had a technical issue with our phones. There was a lightning strike, so what we just did, we're winners. That other guy, he was a bit of a loser. Well, I shouldn't say he was a friend because he wasn't. But just acquaintances. But we were, Steve and I, when the lightning strike happened, we were taking calls on our cell phones and putting the cell phones up to the microphone, and we did that for like a week. I think I think that was actually right before we moved here to the radio station studio. All right, listen though, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. This year, the Steve Kane Show celebrating 45 years on the radio. Oh my goodness. We'll be back.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience.
Yeah, this is one of the hats that Wisconsin Gary gave me. This is the one I'm keeping. He gave me another one I'm going to give to Steve, but this one has Trump's, he got this from the Trump store, Trump's signature embroidered on it, and a presidential seal, and this hat, this is like a really high quality hat too. I didn't even bend that, it was already bent, it's a very high quality hat.
To die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561.
I'll be right back, guys.
8893. That's 561-320-8893.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597.
Yeah, that phone thing was happening yesterday too.
Or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All righty, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, and Steve will be joining us in the next hour. I don't like to play clips of Biden, but I'm going to play one. Did you see Biden yesterday? It's not so much the content of what he says, although we'll comment on that, but he was out of it yesterday. And I'll tell you, his cognitive decline has really just gone down the tubes. I mean, he's gotten really bad. And they've done something to try to compensate for it. They have filled him with like Botox and Juvederm and those fillers because his face, he doesn't even look himself. It is so smooth. Have you seen this? When they've given him too much Botox and other, whatever they're using. Is it Juvederm? I don't know what it is, but they've given him too much. And when you do that, it takes time to settle, and they've like overdosed him on Botox or something. They're trying to compensate for his rapid cognitive decline by a more youthful appearance. Oh my goodness. But he was so out of it yesterday. This is Biden talking about the gas prices.
I'm going to work like the devil to bring gas prices down, which I'm going to working to make sure that we keep strengthening the supply chain to bring the cost of
the supply change, like spare change. Oh my goodness.
Energy and everything else, and the goods that come to America down by helping the ports 24/7, by changing a whole range of things that, you know, what's happened with COVID. COVID has caused significant increase in prices in the supply chain.
Oh my goodness, we had a full supply chain last year at the height of the pandemic. You've caused the price. You know, the gas prices are high. Oil is a commodity, and the price of oil is a futures market. And the price of oil is based on some of its demand, but a lot of it is the market expectation for the amount of it that will be available in the future. That's one factor that goes into it. And when he shut down the Keystone Pipeline in Anwar, boom, that was it. Prices through the roof because the future supply expectations dramatically dropped. The other reason that oil is high is we're now, President Trump made us something we had not been since the 50s. The number one producer and exporter of oil in the world was the United States under President Trump. The number one producer and exporter of oil was the United States under Donald Trump. That's no more. So we're importing oil, and it gets brought over here on ships that are powered by the overpriced gas. That drives up the price too. But he's out of it, isn't he? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. It's Stacy from Deerfield Beach.
Hey, Stacy.
I just wanted to comment, your wife, having you play the full Carrie Lake interview, she is a tremendous woman.
Yes.
I actually Googled her to see, first of all, she is a conservative, she's a Republican, and she's a Christian. I could tell. And she is very pretty.
Well, my wife or Carrie Lake? It sounds like you're describing my wife, but you're also describing Carrie Lake. No, Carrie Lake, when I saw her at the Trump rally in Arizona, that was probably the largest crowd she ever spoke at. She was so polished in a real way, not in a fake way like Pence. She was so comfortable and natural in her comfort. Before Trump came out, a lot of you may not have seen this. I was watching the rally all day. Carrie Lake came out and gave a speech to the full House before President Trump came out. And then he brought her back up. And she was so calm, cool, and great and comfortable because she has all that decades of experience as a news anchor at a major station in Arizona. And she knows how to handle herself in a hot interview, and they're not going to be able to. This thing that Juan picked up on how she's got her own crew recording these interviews in studio quality sound and video, so they can't chop it up and make her sound like she said something that she didn't. It just shows how brilliant she is.
I totally agree. Both you
and I'm a fan of Sarah Palin. But don't misunderstand what I'm going to say. But Carrie Lake Sarah Palin's like AOC compared to Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is like a Trump level person.
I felt the same way about when Sarah Palin came on board. I was just like, oh my God, I had admiration.
Oh, I love Sarah Palin, and I was excited. But Katie Couric, she let Katie Couric get under her skin, and she didn't handle Katie Couric like Carrie Lake handled that Aussie.
Exactly. And I could see DeSantis and her running in 2028.
Well, she did an interview the other day I played last week, and or might have been early this week, but she said first thing she's going to do as governor is build the wall along the border on Arizona land. And the reporter says, well, what if Biden stops you? She says, I'm not going to let him stop me. What's he going to do, arrest the sitting governor of Arizona? I mean, holy crap. You know, I was like, holy, whoa, yeah, I like that.
I like that too. I really like that too. And that was, you know, when I looked at Sarah Palin, look what she was getting. She was, you know, across the border from Russia. And yet she, you know, had a stronghold on her state. The media ripped her apart. I think the media really ripped her apart.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened with, you know, with her. Is what brought her down really was Tina Fey on Saturday Night Live. And I remember when Sarah Palin was on, you know, and the big cheese, you know, we would get calls from liberals who would tell us things that were outrageous that Sarah Palin said, that Sarah Palin never said, that Tina Fey said. The most famous was, I can see Russia from my house. She never said that. Sarah Palin said, they asked her about international relations, and she said, there are parts of Russia that you can see from Alaska, which you can, on those islands, and the Bering Strait and all of that. She said, because I'm governor of Alaska, which is so close to Russia, I receive national security briefings that other governors don't receive, except Hawaii. Hawaii's governor receives these too because of China and Japan and the Pacific. And so I have an expertise in international issues that other governors don't get because I get security briefings. Because, and then they turn that in. I can say Russia from my house. You know, that's what happened with that. You know.
I really admire that. You know, Sarah. Admire her.
Yeah. Well, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call, Deerfield Beach. All right, it's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. Good morning, Janet Cimarelli.
Good morning, Brian Craig, and a very healthy morning to you and all of your listeners. I just want to review all of the fabulous, fabulous things that are coming up at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. And so, first of all, today on Health Matters, the radio show I do at 10 o'clock right here on WWNN, I will be talking about structured water. Very interesting. If people are not familiar with the concept of structured water, it's going to be a fabulously interesting discussion about how to achieve true hydration. Tomorrow...
Okay. Can you slow down on that for a second before you mention the event? The biggest health problem I have is I don't drink enough water. So...
Because this is the water that gets into your cells.
Okay.
Of hydration as it is meant to happen within your cells.
Wow.
And, yeah.
So what do you mean it's water that's more absorbent, it's absorbed better by the body is what you're telling me? Oh my goodness.
It's fabulously interesting, yeah. So I'll tell you it has a little bit of connection to the structure of snowflakes.
That's amazing because I've been dehydrated for about 45 years, Janet. I'm serious. It's a big problem. So what do you got going on tomorrow with?
Just swing on a drink of water and then they're on the way to the restroom. And it's so unfortunate because none of that water that they're consuming is actually making it into the cell where the water is meant to do the work. So, structured water, that's the...
I've never heard of that before. Now, Janet Cimarelli, she has a radio show on all of our radio stations, Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m., which today's Friday, and you can also listen to Janet's show on the iHeart Radio app. Search for our station call letters, WWNN. And, of course, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is in the Festival Marketplace, and everyone in South Florida knows the Festival Marketplace. And let me tell you, if you've never been, you need to go, and if you haven't been for a while, you need to go back. It'll blow your mind what's going on over there, including AJ's. It's just a great place. You can spend the whole day there. When you go into the Festival Marketplace, head back towards the food court. Right before the food court, look west. You'll see an information booth. That information booth is right in front of AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. You can also call them at 954-317-1851. Open 7 days a week, and you guys open at 10 a.m. every day. So, hey, listen, Janet, have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week.
We will.
All right, take care. Take care. Yeah, and I'll tell you, Steve Kane needs that supplement too, because my wife's always telling me that I'm dehydrated. I got to drink more water, and I'm always telling Steve, and neither of us are doing anything about it. All right, it's 8 a.m. We'll be back. Steve Kane joining us after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, folks. Dr. Montez here. Now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep.
And if you have not, please thank Jacqueline. Jacqueline sent a $50 super sticker. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Everyone, please thank Jacqueline for that.
561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free.
I drink so much coffee, that dehydrates me too.
3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1.
Oh, man. All right, hour number 3 has begun. I'm Brian. Steve, you with us? Oh, man. Yeah, it was great.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
We got to add it to the list of producers credit. We got a lot of credits on this show. At the end.
It was like I had flashbacks to the old Joe Pine show.
Oh, yeah.
See, what Joe did was not all intuitive. He actually had a method. He had a method of working, and it was interesting to watch him follow his formula. And what he would do is he would get an interview started, and he would throw a generic question to the guest, and
You should be able to hear Steve.
the guest would get comfortable and loosen up a little bit, and Joe would, at one point in the interview, he would ask one question that turned the chemistry around. It would go from Joe asking the questions to Joe turning around and going after the guest. And I'm not just
Yeah.
articulately today, but if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In every interview, where it went from Joe doing the questioning.
Yeah. What she did was what Carrie Lake is doing is very even more sophisticated than that, because she's the guest, and she just turned the tables on the interviewer like never. And this thing that she's doing, and I didn't realize this till Juan pointed it out, and when he started talking about it, I looked, and this was with the interview the other day. Carrie Lake has her own film crew that are recording everything off camera, and it's all so that they can't chop it up and craft a false narrative about her. And I don't think any politician has ever done that. And I hope President Trump, if you're up listening at Mar-a-Lago this morning, do when you do interviews what Carrie Lake is doing, and that is just, well, she comes from media, so she's got a mindset and a skill set that others I've never seen a politician do that before.
The last thing I generally watch, I have a very rigid, some might say anal, kind of routine to my day, and I fall off to sleep somewhere in the Hannity show, whether it's at the beginning or the end, but that's the time period I'm watching. And as I watch this guy day by day, Biden.
Oh, yeah.
frightening doesn't begin to express it. You can see the decline on a day-by-day basis. Each day, he is palpably worse than he was the day before. And it is, there was a time when it was kind of fun to follow it and watch and feel about how pathetic the Democrats are. But this is, with what's going on in the world today, this is just terrifyingly scary. I don't know what...
I was talking... One thing I noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, Steve, is I was talking about this at the end of the hour. I don't know if you heard me say this, but they're trying to cover up his severe cognitive decline by a more youthful appearance, and they have loaded him up with Botox and Juvederm like I've never... He looks like he's wearing a mask if you watch him yesterday.
Going to his brain?
Well, his face is so smooth, it just doesn't look like himself, and the parts around his eyes don't match. It looks like he's wearing a Halloween mask. Yesterday was the worst I've seen him, I think, when he was talking about the gas prices.
Tune in tonight, you'll see him worse than he was last night.
Oh my gosh.
You wonder where it's going to stop. It doesn't get progressively...
Well, I started the... by the way, that phone problem was going on yesterday's show. But we got it worked out now. Oh, my goodness. I started the show, and I wanted to play this again in this hour because this is a devastating poll. CNN has a new poll out, and they did a segment on it, and I opened the show with this, but I wanted to play it to you. This is John King live on CNN yesterday, and this was so shocking I picked this up to share. It's the new CNN poll on Joe Biden, and and keep in mind it's a very negative poll. It is unheard of for CNN to have a negative poll like this about any sitting Democrat, and two, it's a left-leaning poll because it's a CNN poll, and it's the most liberal sample they could find, which is a poll of Americans, not registered or likely voters. So listen to this. CNN, John King yesterday.
Here. Do you approve of President Biden's job performance? Well, look at how bad these numbers are for the president. Only 4 in 10 Americans, 41% at the moment, approve of his job performance. Nearly 6 in 10, 58% disapprove. That's a tough number.
58% on the CNN poll disapprove of his job performance.
Tough number early in a midterm election year for the President of the United States. Now, why is this happening? This is fascinating. We asked people, what has President Biden done for you that you approve of? 56% of Americans, nearly 6 in 10 Americans. That means a decent amount of Democrats said nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened. Now, yes.
So we're just under 60% in the CNN poll say that Biden has done nothing good for them.
We passed the rescue plan. We passed the bipartisan infrastructure plan. It is not sinking in out in America. 56% of Americans say nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened so far.
That's crazy. And because it's a CNN poll, you got to add 10 points to it because it's liberal leaning. So it's really like 66%. I've never seen CNN run a poll like that about a Democrat. Have you? No.
We're in new territory.
Yeah. So what's CNN's game? Are they just trying to plug in somebody else or what? What's going on here?
I think they're in disarray. They don't know what to do. Well, CNN is undergoing a change in form.
Yes.
A work in progress.
Yeah.
But Biden's situation goes way beyond the CNN thing. And what I keep asking myself, if I was Vladimir Putin, and I'm faced with all these decisions, the games are approaching over the Olympics, and whatever move they've planned, they've let us know that they got it timed around the end of the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just asking myself, what happens if Putin decides? Why, if I was Putin, why wouldn't I move ahead?
Yeah.
Wouldn't I let the tanks roll? I know that the other side's not going to stop me. Joe Biden can't organize or lead a gaggle of geese.
Mm-hmm.
So what's to stop Putin? Nothing.
Yeah, in fact, he'll never have an opportunity like this ever again. China, too. China could take Taiwan right now if they wanted, Steve.
But was just going to say the Taiwan thing too. If he moves at the end of the Olympics, I'm talking now Putin. If he moves, no one's there to stop him, and if simultaneously his ally,
China. Yeah.
Who's going to stop them?
No one. No one. And you know they're going to do it because they know that this is a one-term guy, and they may never have an, because he's so checked out, they will never have an opportunity like this ever again. And now's the only time they'll have an opportunity to have free reign, and that's what makes it dangerous, because they know that he cannot have a response, and we very well could see a two-front. We could see Ukraine, and then a week later Taiwan. And I don't think Biden could handle one of them, not to mention two. He would be in complete collapse cognitively.
Yeah.
From the stress of that. Now, yeah.
I guess what we got to do is pray.
I guess.
Lord, praise the Lord and pay.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what they say in the foxholes. Yeah. Now I want to tell everyone about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell. There's some incredible sales going on right now that you can take advantage of with the promo code Kane at checkout. Now, go to mypillow.com. Scroll down on the right. You'll see a photograph of Mike Lindell holding our American flag. Click that picture, and you will see the specials I'm going to share with you right now, okay? The first one is the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. I have 4 sets of these. With our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, save 60% off the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets from MyPillow, 60% off, as low as $39.99. The MyPillow My Slippers, I have these slippers too. They have multiple styles for men and women, a whole bunch of colors, including pink for the ladies. 50% off with the promo code Kane. The MyPillows are the lowest price ever. With the promo code Kane, $19.98 for the MyPillow. You'll never find a deal like that again. The MyPillow towel set. I have these towels, and they are wonderful. I dried off with my MyPillow towel just this morning. In fact, these towels are so good. The other morning, I got out of the shower. The towels, the towels were all dirty. They were in the dirty laundry, except for the that small, like the hand towel. You know, I dried off with the hand towel, and it worked great. My hair, my body, that's how great these towels are. I dried my hair and my whole body off with the smaller hand towel from MyPillow. Boom. And it dried me off, and the towel absorbed all that water. Save over 70% off the 6-piece MyPillow towel set. The regular price, $109.99. Just $29.99 right now. And of course, the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which I sleep on every night. This mattress topper will change your life. We got it because my wife was having back pain. And first morning she woke up, no back pain. It has not returned. This 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper comes with a 10-year warranty, 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Now, listen, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, including my store, you can take advantage of all those specials with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. So take advantage of all of those, and you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, now I had this other clip I wanted to play for you, Steve. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. I want to throw this. I want to hear from the audience.
Yes.
This hour here. Something's missing from this whole thing going on with Canada and beginning to sweep the world. The word Teamsters.
Oh, yeah.
Associated Truckers with the Teamsters.
Steve
It was
Kane
one
Show.
of the strongest and most crooked
Hey, Barry, hold on.
unions around, and nothing moved without the Teamsters.
Yes.
I haven't heard a single reference since this crisis started about the Teamsters.
That's right.
Can you truckers out there tell me what has happened to the Teamsters? Where do they fit in, or have they disappeared?
No, they're still around. They're just not getting involved because the liberals. These truckers are fighting the liberals, so the union doesn't want to go after the liberals, even in Canada.
You think there was a reference? You think they'd have a presence?
Yeah. Good question.
Reaction to the Teamsters. If this was Jimmy Hoffa, he'd be on the front page of every newspaper.
And they love to get on TV and get press. And I'll tell you. Biden told Trudeau yesterday used the full force of his federal government to break this up. I couldn't believe. I thought he was a big labor guy. Biden, I guess not. He wants to break up this strike.
That's what led me to thinking about the Teamsters.
Yeah, he's a union buster now, Biden. The union guy's a union buster.
Well, I guess there's no more unions in this.
No, there are. And I'm sure these guys in Canada. The Teamsters are in Canada, aren't they? I'm sure they're in Canada.
Word Teamster. Today on this show is the first time I've heard the word Teamster since this crisis started.
Yeah. No, they're still around. All right, it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you gentlemen doing today?
We're great, Barry. What do you have for us today?
Well, this week kind of gone with the theme of with Valentine's Day coming up, making sure we protect the people we love and giving them peace of mind. And on Tuesday we talked about making sure that we set things up so we avoid probate and guardianship. Yesterday we talked about making sure we set up an estate plan that not only is going to protect your assets and leave a legacy to the people you love, but protect them for yourself during your lifetime in case you or your spouse happen to need long-term care, and letting the government pay the lion's share of it rather than it coming out of your pocket and going broke. And today, we're going to talk about the fact that those assets that you leave to your loved ones, let's say your children, grandchildren, you have a choice. You can either leave them outright, and leaving them outright means they're vulnerable to their future divorces. By the way, the divorce rate is almost 60%. Or if they die first before their spouse, it will go to their spouse if it gets commingled, and then that spouse can remarry. Spouse dies. It could end up going to somebody completely off your radar, replacing your own child, and not to your grandchildren. Or if they get sued for any reason or have creditors, those assets can be vulnerable. So if you set up the estate plan the correct way, where you can leave it to your children in a way where it's protected through bloodline planning, as we've talked about many times on your show, then we can give the people we love that peace of mind and protection that we're talking about. And what's their gift on Valentine's Day and protecting the people we love.
Yeah, and we don't have time to get into all the details, but I'll bring up a terrible story involving Steve Kane. Steve's father was a very wealthy man and was not set up this way, passed away, gave everything to Steve's stepmother, and she died shortly thereafter, and her extended family got the whole estate, and you and your sister got cut out, Steve. If your dad would have done bloodline planning, you'd be a millionaire today. But that's, and I'm sorry to bring that up, but it's for the spot, all right? But
Give it on my own.
I guess. Just a kid in the streets of Cooper City. Now listen, Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group, okay? When you call the Siegel Law Group and you mention you heard Barry on the radio, you get a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group, okay? Here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Attorney Barry Siegel. Have a great weekend. We'll talk next week, Barry.
All right, everybody enjoy the Super Bowl.
All right, take care. All right, you want to go back to the phone, Steve? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Scott and Q.
Oh, hey, Scott.
So, things are looking too great over here. I'm actually, I'm heading back stateside next week. Thank God I finally got my info.
Oh, wait a minute. Now let me talk to our Americans in the audience. Kiev is the capital of Ukraine, And Scott from Kiev has been calling us for a long time on this program. War's coming and you're bugging out? You're not going to stay and defend Ukraine? What's going on?
Well, you know, I still have a military affiliation in the reserve, so I'm not allowed to do that. Got UCMJ hanging over my head.
Oh, you're being required to leave the country?
Well, I mean, they can't make me leave, but if I stay, I can't legally fight. I mean, you know, Russia could probably use that as a propaganda piece if they caught me.
So, that's interesting. So you believe an attack on Ukraine is coming soon?
I believe it enough that I'm getting out of here. I'm flying out next week.
Wow.
His feet to the talk.
Wow.
You know, up until a couple weeks ago, I was pretty optimistic, but you know, a lot of things have come out now, and where I didn't think Kiev and some of the major other cities were in play, I think they might be now. And some of the estimates they're giving for civilian deaths and things like that are pretty scary.
See, and I know Scott's not going to confirm this. He may deny it. You know, he's not on it. You know, but I've always suspected that Scott from Kiev is CIA or something going on. But or State Department or something. I know. I won't confirm. Yeah, I know. He's going to deny it. He won't confirm. I know what I don't need to hear your cover job, but but he's getting out. He's getting out, and that's not good. You know, Stephen. Before you called, Steve and I were talking that Putin's going to do it because he'll never have an opportunity like this with this tired old coot running our country.
Yeah. I mean, and
what do we do? That's what I want to know. What does the world do?
Well, Scott's evacuating.
Yeah.
I guess that's what people will do.
And well, they're already prepared for a major humanitarian flight.
I mean, don't you have a girlfriend over there?
Can you believe I lived here 2.5 years and no, I don't have a girlfriend?
Are you gay?
I'm not gay.
Okay, I don't know. No girlfriend. Okay, because I was wondering if you were leaving behind your girlfriend.
No. Just dating over here is not like the fantasy stories you hear. So
I don't have fantasies of Ukrainian dating. I don't know.
These stories you hear, you know.
Oh.
Every Ukrainian girl's looking for an American guy.
Well, you know, a friend of mine who lives here. He's from Russia. He was in the Russian army, and he said these guys that marry the Russian and Ukrainian women, he says they're all Russian mafia. Don't marry any of the Russian Ukrainian brides. Go Filipino, he said.
Maybe that's good advice.
So, okay. So, you know, I'm a little surprised, though, because you've been calling us for like a year about Ukraine, and when the going gets tough, you're bugging out.
Well, like I said, I mean, I don't necessarily have that option. Yeah, so, if I was over here, and I am over here as a civilian. You know, I took the Army Reserve affiliation, so therefore I got that, you know, uniform code of military justice hanging over my head. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Sew on a uniform and fight? Wouldn't that be all over RT or Russian news or something?
Yeah. Hey, listen, Scott, call us when you get back to America, okay? Take care. Oh, man. So it sounds like they're closing the CIA station over there. There's something up with that guy. He's not just some... What kind of guy? He's a retired officer from the service, right? That's why the Uniform Code of Justice still applies to him. That's what that reference is. What kind of guy like that is living in Kiev, Ukraine, unless they're doing something? I don't know. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Okay, it's Jerry, old man.
Oh, hey, Jerry.
Listen, that lady that you're talking about...
Carrie Lake.
I mean, yeah, I Googled her. There's hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and if you tag each picture, it brings up the more stuff. If I were you, I would copy that stuff the way you're going to do it, because then I can disappear. Or just the whole history of her. It's unbelievable what stuff is there.
Okay.
It's incredible.
So you're filling your computer with pictures of Carrie Lake?
Yeah, on my phone. I Google on my phone.
And you're keeping pictures of her on your phone?
I'm not keeping. I'm saying you should copy them because you know what they do. They disappear when they get.
Why would I need to archive photographs of her? Why would I do that?
Because I think you're right. She's gonna.
Well, then we'll see. Then we'll have new pictures of her all the time. What you're talking about sounds creepy.
No. They'll shut it. You know what they do? They shut us down every time.
Okay. Hey, Jerry, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Good morning. You're on the... I'm not sure exactly what that was about. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing? This is Lanny from Delray.
Lanny and Delray. What's up?
Hey, I watch what's going to happen in Russia and Ukraine as soon as the Olympics over. The Russian troops are all going to be pulled out. It's just exercise. There's nothing going.
Oh, are you the Russian guy from Delray? You've called before. You're the Delray Russian. So you don't think? Listen, we've got a senile old man running the country that's checked out. You don't think? You don't? I'm serious. I'm not joking. It's scary. I know. You don't think that this would be the easiest time for Putin to just pick up Ukraine without any U.S. resistance to speak of?
I don't believe he needs another headache.
Mm-hmm. I had a better phone connection with Scott in Kiev, Ukraine, than I have with the Russian in Delray. Yeah.
Good luck.
You're on a...
They're going to be pulling out.
Today. They're going to be pulling out today.
There's nothing going to happen. As soon as the Olympics are over, they're going to be done.
Okay. Well, you're in Delray. You're in Delray. Scott's in Kiev. Scott says he's booked a flight to leave Kiev because he can see the invasion coming. You and Delray are telling us that what Scott's seen in Kiev, Ukraine, is not true. That the Russians are going to pull out.
I don't believe for a minute the Russians need to do anything in Ukraine. They're just doing an exercise, military exercise with Belarus.
Uh-huh.
And nothing going to happen.
Okay. All right. Hey. All right, comrade. I mean, maybe we can call you the comrade from Delray. That could be your handle. All right, take care. I think, Steve, I think we've had a very interesting happening here on the Steve Kane Show this morning in the last few minutes. Okay? Are you with me? Did I lose you, Steve? Nope, I lost the connection with Steve. But I'll tell you what happened. I will try to get Steve back during the break. We heard from Scott in Kiev, Ukraine, who I believe is an operative for some government agency, State Department, CIA, NSA, Department of Defense, something. And then I'm hearing from this Russian guy who claims to be in Delray, who has an awful connection compared to Scott in Kiev, who I heard with crystal clear sound. And Scott, are you back, Steve? No, I lost the connection, so we'll have to reconnect during the break. We have Scott in Kiev who says, invasion is imminent, I'm getting out, I booked my airline. I've got the comrade who claims he's in Delray saying, oh no, Mother Russia will not come in, don't worry. They're pulling out. I think that they're using the Steve Kane Show, both sides here, for their propaganda. This is like having Axis Sally and Tokyo Rose calling in. They're both doing, some propaganda here. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. My name's Brian Craig. We'll reconnect with Steve during the break. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had two bow ties in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I always have prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, but the price is good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445.
This is a man who's recording. You just did a piece on the news the other day?
I've been here, I've been doing it for weeks, yes.
I saw you. Yeah, I was watching you. This is a man who's recording the news. Right down the middle,
little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much. I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Like, there's too many out there that are bringing the news, but they're bringing
Friendly Tire.
Stop by any lab test now of Boca or any lab test now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any lab test now of Boca is located in the Saddlefoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of
Your definition of temper.
near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, guys, we're having some trouble getting reconnected with Steve. I'm waiting for a text from his home studio. All right, so Biden, I mean, this is just, this is really, what's happening right now is the media are involved in an insurrection of sorts. The media are trying to depose the President of the United States. So we've got CNN, right, with the most devastating poll I have ever heard them report about a sitting Democrat president of the United States. 57% of Americans in the CNN poll say Biden has done nothing good for them. And there's other terrible numbers there. Their other allies, typically Democrats, NBC News. Lester Holt, who's a real piece of work. He's a real beaut, as President Trump would say. Lester Holt said, I heard him say not long ago, that it is up to them to promote an agenda in the news. Lester Holt is interviewing Bare Shelves Biden. Listen to this exchange.
I think it was back in July you said inflation was going to be temporary. I think a lot of Americans are wondering what your definition of temporary is.
Well, you're being a wise guy with me a little bit. I understand that's your job. But look, at the time, what happened was let's look at the reason for the inflation. The reason for the inflation is the supply chains were cut off, meaning that the products...
Blah, blah, blah. You're being a wise guy. So here you have Lester Holt and CNN, because both of those are from yesterday. See, this is a coordinated attack on the Biden administration by the media. They're operating together like they were against Trump, but this time they're doing it against Biden. CNN and NBC in the same day. All right, I think we got Steve back. CNN and did you hear the clip from NBC I just played? Oh, well, I'll just tell you because I don't have it here. So CNN and NBC News on the same day just have devastating things for Biden. The first one I played earlier was I'm going to re-queue up the NBC thing. Was CNN's devastating poll. 57% of Americans in the CNN poll said Joe Biden has done nothing good for them. The same day, last night, Lester Holt, NBC Nightly News, interviewed Biden and asked a real question to humiliate him, and Biden snapped back. Listen, this is Lester Holt, NBC News, yesterday.
I think it was back in July you said inflation was going to be temporary. I think a lot of Americans are wondering what your definition of temporary is.
Well, you're being a wise guy with me a little bit.
Okay, and then he goes on with blaming everything under the sun but him. For CNN and NBC on the same day to go after the sitting Democrat like that, humiliate them, call them out, ask real questions. There's a coordinated effort by the mainstream liberal media to depose Biden, to get him out of the way. They're trying to run him out of office, or at least stop him from running. This is the liberal media. They do not ask questions like this or have polls like the CNN poll of Democrats.
The question indicates that they don't support Biden.
And they're, yeah, that's right.
For CNN, they know a new regime is coming in.
What they did to Trump, right? They're creating a narrative. Now, this is a true narrative, unlike the false narratives. But what they're doing that's the same, the media are working together, different outlets, NBC and CNN in these instances, working together to push Biden out of the way. I was talking in the first hour, Hillary Clinton is speaking at the New York Democrat Convention coming up. You know, they don't have a good bench of people like we have with Kerry Lake and DeSantis. They got these old lady retreads, Hillary Clinton, you know. But the media affair, the media, it was conservative media, the little of it we had back then, that were going after him, not CNN and NBC. CNN and NBC's position was, oh, this is between the president and his wife, this Lewinsky thing. This is new territory. And, you know, the problem that the Biden people have with this, Democrats don't have the skill set to deal with a media that's turned on them because it never happens. So they don't even have people that know how to react to Lester Holt and CNN. No Teamster calls. I know we've got Teamsters in the audience.
Well, why wouldn't they call?
Well, you know, it's a toll-free call. So this is part about the Teamsters or what?
No, well, that's just a peripheral issue, but the whole situation, you seem so excited. I'm nervous about it. I mean,
they're paving with their. They're not trying to remove him from office right yet, but Greg Kelly on Newsmax tweeted yesterday that he thinks they're looking at Kamala for the Supreme Court again. And I know people laugh at me for that, but that when the Supreme Court upcoming vacancy was announced, it was like 2 weeks ago, and we haven't heard a nominee yet.
Argument. What happens when Nancy takes?
No, Nancy doesn't become. No. They are if there's no president or vice president. She doesn't become vice president. If they put Kamala on the Supreme Court, Biden nominates someone to replace her that goes through a House hearing. And I'll tell you this could happen. We're 2 weeks out and we haven't gotten a named nominee. They've dropped it. And here's the thing. Yeah, that's why the Kamala thing, I think, is more real than people realize. And if they lose the House, and when Biden picks a replacement for vice president, they have to go through a committee like a cabinet secretary would, but not in the Senate. It's in the House of Representatives. And if they don't do it this year, they're not going to control the House. They'll lose control of that process. We will. Well, that's why they're going to make the move. No, that's the Senate. So they very well may make the move to promote Kamala to the Supreme Court long without hearing the nominee for the Supreme Court vacancy. Something's going on. We just don't know what.
Hope something's going on.
Well, I don't know. I don't want any of Biden's picks on the Supreme Court, quite frankly. The longer they put it off, the better for me. But I think that Kamala, it doesn't mean Kamala's going to get it, but there's certainly discussions about it, and that's why they're putting this off.
To tell you the truth, I think she can do only limited damage on the Supreme Court. I mean, it's going to be a liberal seat.
Yeah.
Once you adjust your mind, once you get your mind around that, it's no big tragedy.
Yeah, I'd rather her be there than in the presidency.
She can't do as much damage.
No, She'll just vote with whatever the Democrat. Yes, that's correct. And she would be less effective than one of these radical ladies that they were talking about a couple weeks ago. But we when there's been in the past when a vacancy is coming up and it's announced, they do not wait this long to give you a name. They get the first name out there, and especially when you're in this kind of position and you need good press, and then they start whining and dining, and they visit with senators and everything else. And I've never seen when a vacancy comes up go this long without someone saying, okay, this is the nominee. It's never not this long. It's too long.
Just have a name out there. I mean,
a real name, not media speculation. Yeah. Yeah. So something's going on with that, and I think it's the Kamala angle. I know that sounds crazy, but these are desperate people.
I don't think it sounds crazy at all.
Well,
I think what's crazy is we haven't got a nominee named yet. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and their first nominee, if it's these radical women they were talking about, it's a good chance the first pick won't make it because they get picked before the hearing. Something comes out about, something they said during the OJ trial or George Floyd, and that's it for them. They got to go to the second nominee. Kamala would sail through a nomination process compared to any of these radical no-names that they're talking about.
Have to be in on it. I mean, it is a national emergency.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to take the last break of the week, come back with the Gold Report. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Tell us where the heck disappeared to in the midst of this trip.
Yeah. They're not supporting the truckers, that's for sure. 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, 1-888-465-2631. 2631. We'll be back right after this.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in...
Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you. The Constitution says the person who is nominated for vice president has to be confirmed by 2/3 majority of both houses. Oh, interesting.
And how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before.
Either.
So how much does this cost?
Steve Kane Show.
You will have the security of knowing that you
Steve Kane Show.
Compassionate advocate, just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214.
We don't have any to send, actually. But I got to run. If we had some, I would. But we don't have any. But thanks for asking.
Advocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Great. How are the metals looking today?
Metals were a little weak today, pulling back after our move this week. We saw gold, it was originally up to about $1,840 yesterday, and then it turned around and reversed it. Ended up closing down $6.60 at $1,826.60 the ounce. Silver did the same thing, turned around and closed down 10 cents on the day at $23.17. Platinum closed out the day at $1,026. That was down $7. And palladium was down $22 at $21.96. This morning we got gold. It was, as I said, up to about $18.35. Right now it's at $18.26.50. That's down about 10 cents. Silver's down 17 cents at $23. It'll be interesting to see today if silver holds that $23 number and closes above that. The platinum down $11 at $1,015, and palladium down $31 at $21.65. Oil back up to $91 a barrel. And the 10-year bond getting 2% today. That's going to be very bullish for inflation as things start costing more to finance, and the government debt costs more for USA Incorporated to pay that interest. So it's going to be an interesting year going forward.
Well, there's a couple things I want to mention here at the end. It's the last report of the week. A couple things. One, Valentine's Day is coming up. Can you tell people some of the items that you have in stock for Valentine's Day?
We have all kinds of beautiful 14, 18 karat gold jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, charms, pendants, rings, and also we have beautiful sterling silver jewelry that.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, and it'll knock your socks off. I've taken a look at the inventory over there around Christmas, and I was amazed at what you had. Now, there was another thing you mentioned yesterday that I've gotten some calls from that people have asked me about off the air. You were talking about how the supply chain how the supply chain issues have affected the metals, in particular with silver yesterday. But you have everything in stock for delivery still.
Going forward, almost all of the importers and suppliers from the manufacturers and from the different countries are anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months behind bring products. So there is definitely a shortage of physical, and it looks like it could increase if this market can.
Well, that sounds like a good thing if you own silver, because that could have a very good impact on the price. So, listen, if you're into silver, no matter where you are in the country or even around the world, or Canadian listeners and elsewhere, give William Youngerman a call. They open up at 10 a.m. weekdays. The number 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And the address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, have a great weekend, William Youngerman. We will talk on Monday.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right, you with us, Steve? Oh man, I thought that upcoming silver shortage would get you excited.
But more excited to find a Teamster.
Good luck. Yeah, they're lost with the supply chain delays. Well, let's take a couple calls. Maybe we'll find one. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian and Steve.
Yes.
Truck driver Jim supporting you today.
Oh yeah. I hope you're not. Hey, listen. I hope you're not in Canada. You could get arrested for honking that horn.
I used to run Canada in the early 2000s, right after 9/11. I've had my own trucking authority with the FMCSA, and I have my trucking broker authority with the FMCSA. And you were asking questions about the Teamsters, and you're asking...
Where are they?
They got weeded out by both the Democrats and the Republican Party quite a while back, along with the Mafia. You remember Teamsters and Mafia used to run the trucking industry and made sure things happened.
Yeah.
The drivers were taken care of.
There's no more Teamsters, and no one even noticed.
I'd say 20% of the United States is still Teamsters in the trucking industries, and pretty much they stay quiet. They're not as vocal as they used to be back in the day because there's so much money they take from the trucking industry and the banking industry with the loans of the trucks that each average tractor and trailer is
is $250,000 right off of the lot. And with the fuel going up already to almost $4 a gallon, or a little bit over $4 a gallon, that's when we had our financial crisis in 2007, 2008, which I think really contributed to that, because that's when all the dominoes fell down on the industry and put us into peril, and for almost, 8 years? And we're going right back to the same thing with the regulations and the attack on the truck driver, the attack on the industry by basically the rules and the regulations. One thing that they recently did is called Operation Clearinghouse. Operation Clearinghouse by the FMCSA is to weed out the truck drivers who do test positive for narcotics. So that started in October of 2020 and went to 2021 January. And if the driver tests positive for marijuana, cannabis, that's a drug that stays in your system for 3 months. Well, in the old days, if you got a narcotics test, you could just switch a trucking company and you were done. Operation Clearinghouse tested drivers nationwide, and in that short period from October to January of 2021, 780,000 Class A CDL licenses were suspended.
Wow.
So that's led to this This has led to this shortage of drivers. That's part of the reason.
I believe it is definitely a part of the reason, and honestly, unfortunately, I'm a proud American, but it seems intentional. Especially when cannabis is legal in over half the United States. And I don't smoke cannabis. I believe in cannabis. I don't use edibles or any of that. But a guy like me, if I want to have an edible, or a grandchild gives you an edible and you didn't even know it, I mean, you test positive for it
Yeah.
a week later after, and then I go to jail for manslaughter and everything.
You know, the other day I was at Target, and these guys got out of this car next to mine, and it just puffs of smoke. It came out. They were smoking weed in there, and I mean, I got a whiff of it, and I don't know if I would pass a marijuana test right now.
Nowadays, when smoking was allowed in all the arenas, you remember what the security staff looked like. They just wobbled back and forth.
Yeah.
Operate past them and got backstage.
Yeah. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, and you gave us some good information. All right, you got the answer to your question. The Teamsters are no more, Steve.
There was a controversy connected with legalized pot, and the other side used to say, "Oh, well, it's no big thing. What can it do? It's not going to harm society." I don't know. I mean, it's definitely accepted now. Whether it has benefited society or not, I think that's a show.
Yeah.
To help the trucking industry.
No.
Really want somebody who's high on grass bearing down on you with the...
No. He wasn't saying hi, Steve. He said, it's like you can have some drinks tonight, and tomorrow you're not going to have alcohol in your breath. He says marijuana stays in your system for 3 months.
So...
No, I don't want high people driving vehicles.
Especially 18-wheelers.
But just because they test positive, that means they've been exposed to it in the last 3 months, doesn't mean they ever smoke it. And certainly doesn't mean that they're high now. So I see what the guy's saying. They've legal. What he said was this. It was a bad connection, but what he said I thought was a very, very interesting point. He said marijuana is legal in so many parts of this country. People are exposed to it that don't use it all the time, through kids and edibles and things like this. And the drug testing laws in the country are based on the pre-legalization of marijuana period, so a lot of guys are getting jammed up in things that don't even use marijuana, knowingly at least. We have smart callers. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. Well, if you can believe it, the week is up already. Yep, that's right. It's time. Do you want to sign us off?
For today, has Don got any
No, and it's Super Bowl. He's got later this month, I believe, in South Carolina. We don't have the date yet, but this Super Bowl weekend. There's no rally on a Super Bowl weekend.
Take the points with the Super Bowl. Go for the underdog. I think Cincy can beat him.
Okay.
Until Monday morning at 6 a.m., we thank you for joining us on behalf of Tyler Kane, my associate producer, Lori Kane, the very lovely Lori Kane, my associate producer, and Brian Craig. This is Steve. See you Monday. God bless America.
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
Oh, man. Good show today. I got to turn our voicemail on. So don't go anywhere, guys. I'm going to talk to you for a second. Just let me turn the voicemail on. I always forget to turn on the voicemail. And then the radio station is getting calls all weekend from people. Because what happens is people watch on YouTube and they'll call. Because I give out the number. They're watching the YouTube video and not live. And then I get calls over the weekend from the radio station. You got to turn your voicemail on. There we go. I got to sign us off first.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
So, yeah, I was telling people at the beginning of the stream, I mentioned this yesterday, my daughter's helping me set up a live streaming, YouTube live streaming studio at home. And she's got me set up where I can take calls now when I live stream at home. And yesterday I ordered a green screen that's being delivered to the house tomorrow, Saturday, and she's going to get me set up with that. So I'm really upping my game on YouTube, in particular when I do my streams at home. So make sure you're subscribed and have the notification bell clicked. I don't know if I'll have the green screen set up for my live streaming over the weekend, but I will probably do a dry run with you guys taking calls. I did a test already taking calls with Kathy. We did a private stream that wasn't public and did it. But, yeah, we got a really very nice green screen coming. And I'm not sure what we're going to put on the green screen. But it'll be something cool and probably rotate from time to time. So I'm really up in the game. But you got to have the notification bell. I don't think I'll have the green screen ready over the weekend. If I do, I'll do a stream with it Saturday or Sunday. But I can't promise that. But when I get the green screen set up, I'll be doing that. But I am going to do a dry run with taking calls on the live stream from my home studio. I'll definitely start that over the weekend. So, yeah. Now, you got to make sure that you have the notification bell clicked, all right? So you get notified when I go live. But by next weekend, I imagine I'm going to have everything in place. So next weekend will be a whole new thing. And I'll probably start doing a lot more YouTube stuff from home when I get all that set up. I got to get comfortable with it, with all this different stuff we're doing. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. I got to run. But thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll